Like, to be honest, I feel like everyone's mixed. Like, I don't know, like, how to explain that. Like, there's no way you can't not be mixed. Like, maybe, like, in, like, 5000 BC or something, before there was, like, relationships or something. I don't know what to say. And it sucks sometimes, because it's like, you have to wear different masks, and you have to wear different hats, and you kind of get tired of switching, and you kind of get tired of wearing the mask. So when does it stop? Like, are we just in one big show? Like, life is one big show, and we're constantly switching roles, we're getting casted all the time, and you always have to put on your best performance. And then at what point does it stop being, like, theatrical? And when can you determine authenticity? Like, how can you determine who's authentic and who isn't? So
it was just kind of confusing, because when someone thinks your hair is a wig, it's like, why would you think I would wear a wig when I'm like a 6-year-old going to school? Why would you think I am wearing a wig? Wigs sometimes move around in your hair unless you have a lot of bobby pins. But without, I have natural hair, aka, by the way, so, this hair is horrible. So one day when I go to the beach, it dries out. When I wash it 50 times, it still kind of dry. When I use hairspray, it totally crunches up, and then it sticks together, and then when I go to the pool, the same thing happens, and then now it's still dry. And when you don't braid it or do a hairstyle with it, and go to bed, it's crazy knotted. So
when I moved here, I looked up the percentage of Native Americans compared to the whole population, and in Australia, compared to the whole population, because I wanted to know why I never see anyone that's Native American here, and yet there is a lesser percentage of Indigenous people in Australia compared to the entire population. And yet there's always someone in my class who's Indigenous, or always like someone, I'd never go the day without seeing someone who was Indigenous. But here I can go, I don't know when the last time I saw someone who was Native American, or if I would even know.
My mom was the one who was like, we're going to go see Alvin Ailey. She took me to The Lion King when I was 8 years old, and always got me books about little African girls and African American girls. There's one, Amazing Grace. This little girl, she's black, and she wants to be Peter Pan in the school play, and my mom was always reading us all of that stuff, because she knew that she couldn't be that role model for us, and nobody else was around. I didn't know any other black people.
That's why, like, I have to remember what's really hard for me too is a lot of times when people act that way, I immediately want to like get mad at them and write them off as a person, but it's like no, they really didn't know any better, and it's not about writing them off, it's about teaching them and inviting them into discussion, which is something I always forget, because I just immediately want to go into attacking them.
So, like, why don't we talk about the real shit? Because if I'm walking down the street and I'm feeling racism and I'm feeling these things and I'm feeling homophobia and I'm feeling this, that's real. So why can't I talk about the realness? Because whether we talk about it or not, I'm going to feel it. So can we talk about it? You feel more discomfort because then you have to really take the lens and look inside yourself and say, well, how have I put this narrative on somebody that doesn't exist? And even with me, like, how can I take accountability on things that I put on other people that don't exist either? Because we all have done it in different ways.